The mountains are indifferent to your dreams, your strength, your experience. They are ancient, powerful, and unpredictable. One moment, awe-inspiring, the next, deadly. This is the reality of high-altitude mountaineering, breathtaking beauty, lethal danger. Colby Coombs faced the worst the Alaska Range could offer. Buried alive, broken, and left for dead. But within him, the will to survive burned brighter than any blizzard. His journey is a testament to human resilience, when all hope seems lost. Imagine a cold that seeps into your bones, pain from shattered bones, and utter isolation. This was Colby's world, a battle not just of body, but of mind. On Mount Foraker, Colby and his friends sought adventure, only to be caught in a catastrophic avalanche. We'll follow Colby's epic fight for life, inch by painful inch. This is more than a survival story. It's a lesson in courage and the unbreakable will to survive. At 25, Colby Coombs was already a seasoned mountaineer, drawn to the wild challenge of the Alaska Range. Climbing wasn't just a hobby, it was his calling. In spring 1992, Colby, Rick Kellogg, and Tom Walter set their sights on an unclimbed route on Mount Foraker. Foraker, towering at 17,400 feet, is a giant of rock and ice. The team was prepared, bonded by trust and ambition. As they flew into the range, the scale of the wilderness was overwhelming. They established base camp, acclimatized, and prepared for the climb of a lifetime. The risks were real, but the pull of the summit was stronger. The climb began perfectly. Colby, Ritt, and Tom moved efficiently, scaling icefalls and snowfields. Each pitch brought them closer to their goal, spirits high. They set up a high camp at 11,200 feet, tired but exhilarated. As the sun set, they planned their final push, unaware of the danger above. A massive slab of snow, weakened by the elements, clung precariously to the face. They were camped directly in its path, oblivious to the looming disaster. The mountains can lull you with calm, then strike without warning. Their dream ascent was about to become a desperate fight for survival. In an instant, everything would change. The line between triumph and tragedy is razor thin. A deep roar shattered the night, the unmistakable thunder of an avalanche. The climbers' world exploded as a wall of snow and rock slammed into them. Colby was tossed, pummeled, and dragged down the mountain, powerless in the chaos. The avalanche carried them 2,000 feet before silence returned. Colby was entombed, buried deep beneath the snow, pinned and alone. Panic set in, he was trapped in a frozen grave, air running out. Many perish at this moment, suffocated and frozen. For Colby, the avalanche was over, but the real battle had just begun. Survival would demand everything he had left. The fight for life was only starting. Colby awoke in agony, cold biting to his core. He lay in a crevasse, alone, the rope to his friends gone. His injuries were severe: dislocated shoulder, shattered ankle, broken vertebrae. The despair was overwhelming, his friends gone, hope fading. But a primal will to live ignited within him. He knew staying meant death. He had to move. First, he reset his dislocated shoulder, enduring excruciating pain. Shock and hypothermia were immediate threats. He had to escape the crevasse, find help, or begin the impossible journey back. Every action was a battle against pain and fear. The first step was survival. The journey would test every limit he had. With his shoulder reset, Colby faced the impossible, climbing out with one good arm and leg. Crawling like a wounded animal, he clawed his way up the ice wall. Every inch was agony, but giving up wasn't an option. After an eternity, he collapsed on the glacier, exhausted but free. The landscape was desolate, no sign of his friends. Grief threatened to overwhelm him, but survival came first. Night was coming, and he had no shelter. He had to find protection from the cold or die. His spirit, battered but unbroken, pushed him onward. He had survived the avalanche and the crevasse. Now he faced the wild alone. The mountain would not claim him yet. Walking was impossible. Colby's only option was to crawl. He dragged himself across the glacier, pain a constant companion. His goal base camp 5 miles away. Every foot was a battle against his broken body and the brutal terrain. Nights brought freezing temperatures. He found shelter in shallow snow caves. He fought hypothermia with mental exercises, clinging to consciousness. For 4 days he crawled by day, shivered by night. Hunger and thirst gnawed at him, but he pressed on. He navigated by instinct, hallucinating from exhaustion. He was driven by the need to survive, and to tell the world what happened to his friends. The glacier was endless, but he refused to stop. He had to live. On the fourth day, Colby's body was failing, dehydrated, starving, racked with infection. He'd crawled a mile and a half, but base camp was still impossibly far. At his limit, he lay in the snow, accepting that this might be the end, but fate intervened. Back in Talkeetna, concern grew as the team missed their check-in. Pilot Cliff Hudson took to the skies, searching the vast glacier. Against all odds, he spotted Colby's pack, a flash of color in the white circling lower. He saw a lone figure crawling. Realizing disaster had struck, he radioed for a rescue helicopter. Help was finally on its way. Colby's fight for survival was almost over. At first, the sound of the helicopter seemed like a hallucination. But it was real. Rescue had come. Colby used his last strength to wave, overwhelmed by relief. Pararescuemen rushed to his side, stunned by his condition. He was stabilized, wrapped in blankets, and airlifted to safety. As the helicopter lifted off, Colby looked down at the glacier, his prison and his battlefield. Recovery was long and painful, the loss of his friends a wound that never fully healed. Yet his story inspired many, a testament to the human will to live. Colby's journey forces us to ask, when everything is gone, what strength lies within you? He found his. Would you?